I'm Jabaria. Welcome to the best place for new and emerging leaders who want help navigating challenging conversations in the workplace. I want to start by wishing you a happy new year. It's 2021. I also want to wish you peace and contentment in this new year. And if you're new to my channel, I want to wish you a very warm welcome. In today's video, I want to talk about 3 things that 21st century leaders must know if you want to be competitive in the job market. At the beginning of each new decade, and especially at the start of each new year, it's important to look at what's going on around us, specifically in the industry where we work. Keeping up to date with what's new will prevent you from being left behind in the things that will give you the competitive advantage in your chosen occupation. This topic is something that's really important to me because many of the things that I share with you on this channel are some of the things that I wish I knew when I first started out in my career. So with that being said, let me give you a bonus tip right at the start of this video. One of the most important things to know right now is that the digital revolution that began in the latter part of the 20th century will continue to advance in the new century and will have major effects on the global workforce and on the workplace as you now know it. And if you want to know why that's important to the work that you do and what you can do to stay ahead of the curve, then keep watching. In today's episode, I'll tell you 3 things 21st century leaders must know to take advantage of the changes that are happening. So let's get right into what I mentioned about the digital revolution. According to an article published by the European Commission called Economics of the Digital Revolution, the digital revolution is impacting everything from economy, innovation, science, and education to health, sustainability, governance, and lifestyles. Digital technologies will fundamentally change business models, institutions, and societies as a whole and as new ecosystems emerge. This refers to the shift that the world made from mechanical and analog systems to digital systems and record keeping via computers and such. What this means for us today is that worldwide access to the internet combined with quarantine restrictions and global economic challenges is resulting in a job revolution. More people across the planet have lost traditional jobs in local communities, while the internet is helping them to seek alternative employment options and gain access to increased learning opportunities and better jobs. Let's just start with the fact that more people than ever are working remotely, just wherever you live, and this is no longer confined to your local communities. Teleworking or working virtually has opened us up to a whole new way of working. This puts countries that are considered to have third world economies and job markets on an even playing field with first world job opportunities. The opportunity to work remotely has also allowed more prospective employers to seek and hire skilled labor from people in parts of the world where they may not have looked previously. This means that jobs that used to be just in the hands of a few more developed countries are now open to developing markets in places like India, South Africa, Pakistan, just to name a few, and the list goes on. The internet has created an equal opportunity, and this means that many people will compete for the same high-paying jobs. This is why it's important for you to prepare yourself to be a cutting-edge 21st century leader, or a person in any position for that matter, with transferable skills. This leads me to my first point. The first thing that a 21st century leader must know is how to be digitally literate. The pandemic has caused many companies around the world to transition to what's called digital first. This means that many of you are working from home right now and you aren't sure if people will ever return to the traditional office environment. And because we've all discovered that work can basically be done from anywhere, companies are more concerned about deliverables or achieved outcomes for their businesses, and they care less about where the employee who delivers the work actually lives. Employers are becoming more focused on the quality of the work and the skills of the person doing the work. This means that geographical revolution in the job market, it's taking place. Employers can hire anyone from anywhere, and more jobs are now open to the global community. As time goes on, your industry and the jobs that you could potentially be competing for will open up to other prospective employees through a laptop. This means that someone from an entirely different country could be competing for the same job as you, and if they have the same developed skills as you do. So here's what this means for you. You will need to be digitally literate and digitally flexible. You'll need to increase your knowledge about the internet and its capabilities. You'll need to know how to use various social media platforms and become more familiar with software systems that businesses use in your particular field or industry. Let me give you a personal example of what I mean by this. I've been learning more and more about project management software platforms that allow document and file sharing. This is because I work with people who live in different parts of the world, and so I always need to keep updated on various systems that are being created just in case I'm asked about some platforms that are outside of the ones that I currently use. This also helps me to learn about some of the new platform features that might be useful to me in my business. Does this mean that I know all of the intricacies of each and every platform? No, it doesn't, and no, I don't. But learning more about them keeps my mind agile, fresh, and open. It also allows me to have a basic working knowledge of what's out there so that I can stay relevant and in the conversation. Make no mistake, the changes that are happening in the world right now are only the beginning. More businesses, corporations, and government entities will make use of these technologies as we continue into the future. And anyone who resists learning to become digitally literate will be left behind and will be far less competitive in the job market. If you take nothing else away from this video, please hear me when I say that this new decade just started and you don't want to be on the wrong side of the digital divide in the years to come. Before we get into the second tip, be sure to stay until the end because I have a bonus tip for you. The second thing that a 21st century leader must know is how to develop high-level EQ or EI skills. EQ or EI skills have to do with emotional intelligence. The dictionary defines emotional intelligence as the capability to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and emphatically. It's basically when you're aware of how your emotions and the emotions of others affect what you do. It also means that you understand what motivates people and you use this knowledge and insight to guide your behaviors. Emotional intelligence basically helps you to relate to others in a positive way, and it has very little to do with how educated or how smart you are. Some people think that having great EQ or EI skills is more important than having high IQ or intellectual intelligence. Intellectual intelligence is basically how smart someone is. Having emotional intelligence is important because it doesn't matter how smart you are if your smarts don't allow you to relate to other human beings. Highly developed EQ skills will enable you to do the following. Number 1, you'll positively influence others. People who have EQ or EI skills are able to communicate in a non-aggressive manner that makes people feel comfortable. You'll also be able to inspire others to positive actions and behavior. Number 2, you'll be able to read situations correctly. This means that people with high EI can pick up on nonverbal cues and subtle language that helps them to respond appropriately to and handle difficult situations. Number 3, you'll stay calm under pressure. People with high EI can handle stressful situations effectively and manage their emotions. They won't cause a scene or use rash judgment when something upsets them. No matter how technologically advanced and automated the world becomes, jobs where people are managed will need leaders who have highly developed EI skills. Daniel Goleman has a great book called Emotional Intelligence that has specific steps that you can take to develop your EI. Let me know in the comments below if you would like for me to do a review of his book for you by highlighting his major points. Type book review in the comment section below and I'll be sure to create a video about it. The third thing that a 21st century leader must know is how to cultivate communication skills that are diverse and inclusive. This means that you not only need to become familiar with various effective communication techniques, but you'll also need to be able to communicate your thoughts and ideas to reach people of diverse ages and backgrounds. Here's what I mean. As workplaces evolve, staffing will become more diverse and the global market will open us up to more diverse customers. If you develop skills that allow you to effectively connect with others in ways that are positive and meaningful, you will have the power to eliminate perceived barriers. Having the ability to connect and interact successfully with both colleagues and customers will make you an asset to your employer. This is a valuable skill set that no one can take away from you. How to do this, you might ask? Develop good listening skills. Learn to communicate across generations. That means across race, culture, ethnicity, etc. Remember, it's not all about you, and be an equal opportunity supervisor. It's also important to be aware of your tone and body languages and any perceived differences when you communicate. Poor communication skills continue to be a top challenge for leaders and their direct reports. The good news is there are lots of training courses and materials available for leaders to develop this skill. And the bonus for you is that this channel is all about improving communication in the workplace. So be sure to let me know the topics that you want to discuss in the comments below, and I'll make videos for it. Before we get into the bonus tip, let me know in the comment section, what's one skill that you think 21st century leaders must know? And don't forget to click the like button if you've enjoyed the tips that I've shared so far. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, here's the bonus tip. The worldwide access to the internet combined with quarantine restrictions and economic challenges is resulting in the job revolution that I mentioned earlier in this video. But it's also resulting in a transfer of wealth. I'm not only talking about the most common wealth transfer that is happening where many baby boomers will transfer their wealth to their children as this decade continues. There's also another aspect of the wealth transfer that I'm referring to, and it's happening online in the virtual world. As writer Tim Denning put it in his article called "The Biggest Wealth Transfer in History is Happening Right Now," he says that the final part of the wealth transfer is happening online. What this means is that we now have a unique opportunity to increase our earning potential and stack our wealth. Many people are taking their current professional skills and training and creating online content based on their knowledge, experience, and expertise. There's something special that you know or that you can do, and if you share it with others online, you'll be able to monetize your expertise and people will pay for it when you add value. Let me give you an example of what I mean. The quarantine has caused many traditional grade schools to be fully or partially closed. This has made virtual learning a challenge and overwhelming experience for parents, children, and teachers alike. Well, a solution to this problem is that many people with teaching skills and experience have offered their tutoring services online by helping children with homework and by offering extracurricular activity lessons like cooking lessons and music lessons for children. This fulfilled the need and has transferred wealth into the hands of educators who are now able to access the wealth that's now in the hands of each average citizen. There are also services that connect children with tutors and teachers and charge a nominal fee for this service. You can take advantage of this too and get your share of the wealth transfer. What's a skill that you have or knowledge that you can share that you can take advantage of this time? Now, if you're watching this video and you want to know a few more must-have skills for 21st century leaders, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell because in my next video, I'm going to share a few more tips to help you stay ahead and keep you in the know. As always, have a great week, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.